Coming up on Hoosier Sports Night, Indiana football is ranked for the first time since 1994 thanks to a timely win streak.
And the men's soccer team will get a rematch against last year's College Cup champion in the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament. This is Hoosier Sports Night.
Hello and welcome to Hoosier Sports Night. I'm Stephen Walker.
And I'm Maya Engel. And Stephen, let's just jump right into it. Word around town is that Indiana is a football school now.
I thought I would never hear those words. We used to be known as a basketball school. I think now we're noticed as kind of a soccer school, but football, baseball too. But football right now, they are rolling. And like we said at the top of the show, after a quarter century, the Indiana football team is ranked in both the coaches poll at 25 and in the AP Top 25, coming in at number 24, snapping the longest drought for a Power 5 team to not be ranked. The ranking comes after a 4-game winning streak over the past 5 weeks and with a 7-2 overall record. Those 4 wins include dominating home wins against Rutgers and Northwestern and 2 solid road wins against Maryland and Nebraska. However, fifth-year senior Donovan Hale says there's still a ways to go for the team.
I mean, we happy, but, we not really satisfied. We obviously came here to change the program around, but, we not done. We want to be, top 5 in the country, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get to that point. But, obviously it took me 5 years to, get to this point, but it does feel good, but we're not satisfied.
The Hoosiers will close out their season with a road game against Penn State, a senior day game against Michigan, and, of course, the old Oaken Bucket against Purdue in West Lafayette.
After beating the Buckeyes in the Big Ten quarterfinals, the Hoosiers will head to College Park to seek redemption against Maryland in the semifinals. Maxwell Glenn previews the highly anticipated matchup.
On Friday, Maryland and Indiana meet on the pitch for the second time this season. The first matchup went in Maryland's favor, 3-0.
I wouldn't say they've had our number, but we did suffer a big loss to them last game, so we're definitely looking to take them down this time around. But every time we play Maryland, it's a battle between both teams. But we're excited and looking forward to Friday.
After that big loss, players found multiple areas for improvement.
We just need to manage the key moments. I feel like a couple moments we broke down defensively, and that's on all of us. Just not being focused and really ready for the moment. But this time around, I think we'll be ready and we're focused.
And I think the last game we didn't really fight as much, and we need to have a lot of grit going into the game Friday because we know it's going to be another physical test, and I think we'll be up for it.
In addition to the players, Coach Yeagley found a laundry list of areas for improvement for the Hoosiers.
Functional clearing, box defending, a second ball, a deflection. I mean, that's how these games. I mean, you win the games there. You control the game in the middle of the part of the field. You control the game. You don't win the game there. You got to win the game in those key spots, and I think that's been our focus.
Even though Indiana prepares to face off against a team they have not won against this year, nerves aren't even a concern for the Hoosiers. They've already put that behind them.
Obviously, it's an important game, but at the end of the day, it's just another game. We just got to stay focused and know what's at hand, and we just got to do our job.
I myself love playing against away crowds like that, but they're going to be in our ear the whole game, and it's an advantage for Maryland, but we also think that it can fuel us as well for the game. So we're excited to be in that atmosphere on Friday.
For IUS TV Sports, I'm Maxwell Glenn.
The match will kick off at 7 p.m. on Friday, and you can watch it right here in Bloomington on the Fox Sports app. The winning team will head to the Big Ten Championship on Saturday and will face the winner of the Michigan-Penn State game.
The women's basketball team is up to their highest ranking in program history at number 21, just 2 games into the season. Jimmy Sutton tells us all about their most recent performance.
111-47, that was the final score as Indiana took down Nicholls State on Sunday. The Hoosiers won in dominating fashion through offense and defense.
The Hoosiers got off to a quick start in the game by a 15-0 run.
but it was the presence of the defensive side that led to the offensive success. Indiana forced 20 turnovers, which led to a whopping 36 points off of those turnovers. Now, none of this offense would have happened if it wasn't for Indiana's new school record 33 team assists. These successes led to Nicholls State to call the first timeout of the game halfway through the first quarter, just over 5 minutes to go, which was exactly what Terry Morin wanted.
Well, I think anytime you get off to a great start or a hot start, it gives your team confidence. You know, I gave them one goal, to start the game, and that was, for them to have to call the first time out, and that gives them something that they can, it's a goal, a reachable goal that, they can go out and they can get.
The continuous highlight throughout the game was by the name of freshman forward Mackenzie Holmes. She finished with a total of 22 points on a perfect night from the field, shooting 9 for 9. She added 5 rebounds and 5 blocks along with that by creating offense through defense and getting herself open in the paint so guards just like Allie Patberg could find her. The Hoosiers have a week off until they take on Jackson State next Sunday at 2 p.m. From there, they head to the Virgin Islands to go to the Paradise Jam for their real test of the season. For IUS TV Sports, I'm Jimmy Sutton.
Like Jimmy said, there's only one opportunity to catch the team at Assembly Hall until December when they take on Jackson State on Sunday at 2 p.m.
On the men's side, Trace Jackson Davis led the way in the Hoosiers' win over North Alabama on Tuesday night. Our Meredith Strewing and Jack Grossman recap the team's third win of the season.
Hey everyone, it's Meredith Strewing alongside Jack Grossman, and we are here at Assembly Hall where the IU Hoosiers just beat the North Alabama Lions 91-65. Now, in the first half, the defense was a little shaky. Their offense was pretty good, but we do want to mention one star player in the first half who really made a difference. Jack?
Yeah, just all game long, Trace Jackson Davis was a beast. This was the guy that Indiana tried to recruit and ended up landing McDonald's All-American, and he showed all the hype tonight. He had 20 points, but was really effective getting to the free throw line. I know, it sounds boring. 14 of 15 from the charity stripe, drew 8 fouls. Archie Miller talked about that knack of getting to the free throw line after the game.
Gifted, around the rim, rebounding, driving, quickness, off the ground. It's good, but he can draw fouls. He's always done that. And proud of him tonight, 14 to 15 from the line. That's a huge deal.
So, like I said, with the first half, the defense was a little shaky. But then Archie Miller went into halftime with the team, gave him a pep talk. What do you think he said, and really, how do you think the defense improved from that?
I don't know, but he said something. He had the coat off to start the second half, took the tie off not
and
too
the tie, yeah.
long after, but Archie Miller was not happy with that defense in the first half, and there's a pretty clear reason why. North Alabama was just 25% from behind the three-point line coming to this game in their first 2 contests of the season, but they were 7 of 10 in the first half, and it wasn't like they were hitting yellow threes or anything.
Right.
There were a lot of wide-open jumpers, poor rotations. Archie Miller talked about there not being enough ball pressure, just a lot of combination of things that went wrong that were kind of a carryover from the Portland State game on Saturday. But Indiana did get better in the second half. They showed better ball pressure, forced a lot of turnovers in the second half. I think Rob Finney was a big reason for that.
Yeah, and you mentioned some things that went wrong, but Rob Finney was the bright spot. Something went right with him. What do you think that was?
Meredith, he's going to be a really important part of this team all season long. He's really the only true point guard on the roster. And you can see it, just how much better the offense flows when he's in the game. He comes in after the first media timeout of the first half. Indiana hasn't hit a field goal yet in the game. It's been 4 or 5 minutes. Comes in, fantasy layup. Then he finds Jerome Hunter for a 3. Then another layup. Just completely turned it around, the momentum for the Indiana offense. Just Indiana looks so much more comfortable when he's running the point guard position. And he talked about the ball pressure also. Just Indiana's a better team when Rob Finney's on the floor, and it showed on Tuesday night.
It did show, and hopefully they can carry that momentum into Saturday's game where they will play Troy University here at Assembly Hall. That is an 8 p.m. tip-off, and Jack and I will have all your updates and scores. So for IUS TV Sports, I'm Meredith Strewing.
And I'm Jack Grossman.
We'll see you next time.
As Meredith mentioned, the Hoosiers will be back home this Saturday to take on the Troy Trojans at 8 p.m. Be sure to follow Jack and Meredith on Twitter for updates throughout the game.
Over the weekend, the swim and dive teams clashed with Texas and Louisville in Bloomington. Jake Toppin has the recap.
I'm in IUS TV Sports. I'm Jake Toppin, reporting for Indiana men's and women's swimming and diving team here at Councilman Billingsley Aquatic Center. The Indiana men's and women's swimming and diving teams took on Louisville and Texas this weekend. On Friday, long course meters, and on Saturday, short course yards. On Friday, the Indiana men's team and women's team lost to Texas but defeated Louisville. Despite losing to Texas, the Indiana men's team had great swims, especially from Mikey Calvillo in the distance events, sweeping the 400 and the 800. This is Indiana's first time losing a home meet in almost 35 meets, as the last time they lost was to Michigan in January 16, 2016. On the women's side, Cassie Jernberger was also great in the distance events, sweeping the 400 and 800 yard freestyle. Back on the men's side, the men's had 4 divers qualify for NCAA zones: Maury Gold, Cole Van Dever, freshman Zane Smith, and Seamus Scotty. Also on the women's side, Cora Dupree and Noelle Poplowski took wins in the 200 breaststroke and 200-yard free.
For IUF TV Sports, I'm Jake Toppin.
Next week, both teams head to Knoxville for the Tennessee Invitational starting November 21st and running through the 23rd.
After a tough 2019 season for the water polo team, head coach Taylor Dodson is feeling optimistic about her team heading into this upcoming 2020 season. Caleb Coffman has a preview of the upcoming season.
Last season, the Indiana water polo team underwent a massive transition, moving into the top conference in the country for water polo, a challenge made evident by going winless in the Mountain Pacific Sports Federation Conference.
It was really challenging, and I think that was reflective in our record and in our season last year.
The MPSF Conference is home to the past 3 national champions and 5 of the top 6 ranked schools in the country, providing the Hoosiers a tough test they weren't equipped to pass.
I don't think that we necessarily faced that adversity very well last year, but it is everything that we're doing this year to improve upon that.
One of the reasons it was so tough? Indiana lacked senior leadership, as they boasted 0 seniors on their roster.
We almost saw how not to be last year, and I think that this group, they've done a really great job of taking it upon themselves to make sure that we don't have a year like we did last year.
Well, last season, Indiana's lack of seniors made the transition to the MPSF, which is already one of the most challenging conferences in the country, even harder. The Hoosiers are now looking to take the next step forward as they find themselves with an abundance of senior leaders.
Yeah, I think not losing anyone is a big advantage. We know each other really well. We just have a lot of new freshmen, so we're showing them everything that we do, and I think it's a big advantage for us.
As the Hoosiers get ready to kick off their season, they are determined to prove they can play with the best and improve upon their inaugural season in the conference. For IU Sports Media, I'm Caleb Coffman.
The Hoosiers will kick off their 2020 season at the Michigan tournament in January.
When Hoosier Sport Night continues, me and Drew Fry take on a task that IU receiver Whop Philyor has seemingly mastered, catching punts.
And the wrestling team had a successful weekend competing in not 1, but 2 different tournaments. You're watching Hoosier Sports Night.
Well, as we've mentioned, IU football is ranked and rolling with 4 straight conference wins. A big part of the success is junior wide receiver Whop Philyor, who leads the Big Ten in receptions and receiving yards. He's also the primary punt returner, something he has excelled at this year. Me and my partner Drew Fry met with Whop and learned what goes into being a good punt returner and tried to do it ourselves.
And so what we're going to do today is we're going to go through a little bit of punts. We're going to see, we know that you can catch punts out on the field. We want to know how you can teach them to my unathletic self and Stephen Walker over there. So we're going to see how that goes. You ready?
I got y'all. Come on, let's go.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to line up on the ball because you know it's going to be here or there. You want to line up on the ball. Then you want to be confident, comfortable, confident, you know, shake off everything before you get out.
Yep.
And then when you catch the ball, you want to make sure your elbows are tight. Elbows are tight because if you don't go tight, it's going to fall right through.
Right,
so
yeah.
Make sure your elbows tight. But a step for that, you want to see the flight of the ball. You want to see when it come off the punter's foot. So you don't ever, like, if you catch, don't ever step back. Always stay side to side, like this, side to side. Because you step back, it could drop right in front of you. You could like lose yards because football is a game of inches.
Right. Yep.
So now you got to see the flat of the ball. Make sure your elbow is straight, and you don't ever your elbow want to be like this. Everything straight ahead. Everything in front of you.
Okay.
Think you ready?
I think so. I mean,
It's not that much to it.
Yeah,
it's not that much to it. See the flat of the ball. Make sure your elbow is tight.
right. And
Catching the basket.
I mean, you said anyone can do it. So I mean, I must be able to, right?
Let me check out your elbows.
Yeah. Right here, elbows tight.
That's it.
That's it?
Just pop. All right, let's see it. Make sure you line up on the ball.
All right.
Make sure you line up on it.
Yeah.
Side to side. You good? You ready?
Side to side. Oh yeah, I'm good.
Y'all ready? Let's go. Let's see it.
Ooh. I mean, I got it.
It was all right, but it wasn't perfect.
Oh, I'm not Whop Philyor though.
You wanna stay behind it all the time. Stay behind the ball. Don't let it catch it like this. You wanna stay behind it. You feel me? Like this.
Yeah.
Let's get another one. There we go. That boy looking like Stevie Scott. I'm just playing. We do this. We do this at IU 2.0, baby.
We do this.
You trying to get out here and get one?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, get out here and get one.
All right. Stephen, I'll put you in charge of the cameras.
Yeah.
Let's go score a touchdown.
All right, let's go score a touchdown.
Let's go score. You got to go all the way. But when you catch this, you got to go all the way to the crib.
Okay.
All the way to the crib.
When I catch this, I'm going all the way.
Let's go. Y'all ready?
All right. Be confident.
Okay. We going.
So close.
Butterfingers. See, you try to catch with your hands.
Yeah.
You got to get under it like this. Get under it.
Under the ball. All right.
Under it. Make sure you look it in, too. Make sure you look it in.
Look it in.
You got this. I know you.
I got this.
Confident. Oh, let's go. Record that. Let's go, baby. 10, 20, 15, 10. Touchdown. We do this at IU 2.0. That's what we do. IU 2.0, that's what we do. We score touchdowns. We make y'all feel bad about y'all. So that's what we do, IU 2.0. You heard it here first, baby. I'm Whop Philyor. Make sure you guys go out and watch the IUS TV. We got some great content on there. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Well, listen to Whop and make sure you check out all of our content throughout the year. Whop Philyor and the number 24 Hoosiers travel to State College to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions on Saturday. Kickoff is at 12 o'clock noon. I'll be there alongside my partner Drew Fry to keep you all updated on this ranked matchup.
The wrestling team split their squad over the weekend and sent the more experienced wrestlers to New York and the younger guys to Ohio. 11 different Hoosiers placed in the top 3 in their divisions, including all 8 of the placers at the Journeyman Classic in New York. Kyle Luigs, Joey Sanchez, Dylan Hoey, and Greg Hagan led the way with first-place finishes, with Luigs earning a pin in the 133 championship and Sanchez winning by a technical fall in the 157 championship. All told, the Hoosiers Journeyman wrestlers finished with a 20-4 combined record in bouts. Over at the Ohio Open, freshmen Caden Rooks, Nick South, and Donald Washington managed second-place finishes in their weight classes. Luke Bauman and Nick Wilhelm also managed to place in Ohio, earning 5th-place finishes. The Hoosiers find themselves back in New York for their next action at the Black Knight Invite at West Point on November 17th.
After 9 straight losses, IU Volleyball hosted Rutgers last Saturday, looking to get back on track. And during the week, head coach Steve Aird recruited a lot of talent for next year's team. Dante Cargadorian tells us more.
The Indiana University women's volleyball team has found a second win during the latter half of the regular season, winning their first match since October 5th by defeating the Rutgers Scarlet Knights during the only meeting of the 2 Big Ten teams this year in dominant fashion. The win comes after 3 straight losses against top 25 teams this month. Brianna Edwards was the star of the match, adding 13 kills and 3 blocks to her already impressive sophomore season. Looking into the future, head coach Steve Aird was able to send an impressive 8-person incoming freshman class for the 2021 season. The roster now boasts a lot of extremely talented youngsters like Tommy Stockham, the 2018 Nevada Gatorade Player of the Year, and multiple other individual selections to the PrepVolleyball.com Ace 150. The incoming acquisitions should address some of the holes in the team, such as the lack of back row defense and additional talented blockers that should help head coach Steve Aird rapidly transition the culture of this program. Heading into the final 2 weeks of the season, the Hoosiers will take on Maryland and The Ohio State University on a back-to-back this weekend at Wilkinson Hall. It will be interesting to see if the Hoosiers can steal a game or two from their remaining Big Ten opponents and see how far they can solidify themselves in the standing as the season concludes. This is Dante Cargadorian reporting for IUS TV Sports.
With just 6 matches remaining, time is running out for the Hoosiers to make moves in the Big Ten Conference. They'll look to get on the right track this weekend with 2 home matches, Maryland Friday and Ohio State Saturday.
The Indiana men's tennis team finished up their fall season in Cambridge, Massachusetts at the Chowder Fest hosted by Harvard. Headlining results for the Hoosiers was William Piekarski, who won all 3 of his singles matches and won 3 out of 3 in doubles with Carson Haskins. IU won 3 other double matches on day 1 of the competition with a pair of 6-3 wins, ending the fall with some momentum. The Hoosiers begin dual play next year when the Hoosiers welcome Ball State to the IU Tennis Center on January 12th.
Well, that's going to do it for our show this week, but don't forget to like our page, IUS TV Sports, on Facebook, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at IUS TV Sports. And if you're a Hoosier out there, go support all your teams, especially the football team, because I don't know about you, Maya, but this is the best I've personally seen this team perform. So go out there, show them all the support that they need. Anyway, I'm getting carried away here. So for Maya Engel and our entire production crew behind us, a great production crew, I'm Stephen Walker, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.